Hey, it's me, Unapologetically T, and I'm here with another video. I wanted to talk about self. What is self? And on this journey, I just kept hearing, like you gotta find a sense of self. You gotta know yourself. Like return to self, and like just puzzled about like what the fuck is self, and ain't I self, and that's true, and that's very, very true. Like you already are self. And I think when we're on these journeys and sometimes we lose self, like what does that mean, like losing yourself? And we're on these journeys of rediscovery, and some would say finding themselves, but what I'm learning is rediscovering yourself. And so I wanted to do this video because I'm just like, but what is it? What is self? Ain't I already self? Like, how do I find self? And one of the things I realized is that you already are yourself. I do think that when you're having a spiritual awakening and you are coming back to yourself, because I definitely feel like when you're having a spiritual awakening, that literally is you are returning to yourself. You return to yourself and you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Who the fuck am I? What the fuck? Sometimes it's even what the fuck is this place? It could be that deep. Who are these people, baby? That was one. It was like, who are y'all? Like, even the ones I knew, it was like, who the fuck are you? Because your intentions are off. And so, and then there was some people like literally I had lost memory of. I literally mentally lost memory of. And so I think you are afforded this journey of exploring self and learning that self is less about, your body, being in your body is a part of this experience, but I find self to be on more of a conscious level, and your self-consciousness. And so for me, I don't know what it is for everyone else. So I would love for us to have a conversation in these comments. What self means to you, because that was such an elusive concept. And I think the more healing I did, the more aware of self I became, like who I truly am. And the more I realized that that's ever evolving. So I don't have to hold on too tight to, oh, I'm this and I'm that and I'm that and I'm this. It's like, for me, it is, there's some firm, core, this is me. And then there are some other parts that I know will be evolving. That's why I don't like the word being a hypocrite. I do use it. And a lot of us, all of us, are hypocrites because you should be, because you should always be ever evolving, ever changing. However, there are some core beliefs that should, I feel like for me, I think it's both. It's some core values that should always remain the same for me. And there's some things that's going to always be ever evolving. It's called growth and evolution. Like, you're going to change. And so how I thought and felt 10 years ago, I might can find some things that are going to remain the same, but I also will find some things that don't align with who I am today. And I think on this journey of rediscovering self, I had to learn that a lot of people had injected, projected, and tried to tell me who the fuck I was. And I think me believing them was a disservice to myself. I think you know who you are more than anybody in this world. More than anybody in this world. I think God is the only one who probably knows you, or your higher power, or whatever like you subscribe to. I think besides that higher power, you know you better than anyone. And until you realize that, until you realize that, you're always going to be susceptible to other people changing your reality. So being able to gaslight you, being able to manipulate you, being able to fill you up with a bunch of nonsense. You have to figure out who you are. And once you do, you're less likely to allow others to mistreat you, abuse you, or any of those things. I will say this: you can learn and figure out who you are, but still be in a process of learning boundaries. So the boundaries part is like, I heard this, I was listening to this video because I do a lot of motivational things. Before I get up and brush my teeth and wash my face, like, I'll listen to a little video here and there. And what I think he said was, boundaries are a form of self-respect. And so boundaries are a form of self-respect and not cruelty. A lot of times we feel like having boundaries is cruel to other people. But having boundaries is self-respect. And I'm here, baby, to tell you, like, I had no self-respect. I was respecting other people, and sometimes I wasn't. But I really had none for me. I had no self-respect. I allowed people to be habitual line steppers. I call it that. Like, people who break boundaries over and over again are habitual line steppers. Literally, I would feel bad if I had to say no, but it literally would be no because I'm honoring my feelings. I just had a low self-worth, a low sense of self. I had no sense of self, Holly, anymore. And I only had, there was a time where I had a sense of worth, but I was angry with it. Like, so I had a sense of self-worth at one point in my life, but I was angry with it. And so that definitely closed doors for me. And it was putting me in situations that literally I didn't necessarily want to go down that path. So, like, there was a time where I had self-worth, and it was like, no, I'm not gonna let you do this. So I was like being my own protector and showing up for myself, but it was like really aggressive. It was really aggressive. And actually, like, I understood. I understand that. However, it's like now in this evolution and of me, is like I still have that protector. I still have that protector, but knowing that that's an extreme way we can handle things, and it doesn't have to be that way. Our no is just as powerful as an aggressive, who the fuck you think you playing with. No has power, and it exerts less energy. So this evolution of self, I couldn't be who I am today, this self that I am today, without the parts of me from previous lives. Like, I have worked with 3 core parts of me who lived 3 separate lives. And so there was this little girl version of me. And I like to separate these things from, like, the little girl of me was like from zero, from birth, to what happened in utero, to what happened till I was about like 10 or 11. And so she needed mothering. And I think all versions of me needed mothering and fathering. But she desperately needed to be mothered. And she definitely needed, the father. She needed a father also. I was probably given more emotional love then than I had ever been given. So even though that version of me was neglected, I guess since I was really young, I still got more love and attention than I did in the other versions of me. But this version of me needed to be mothered, needed to be told that her innocence wasn't stolen. She needed to be shown that. She needed love and compassion and understanding about why she was impulsive. Very fucking impulsive, wild, daredevil, all that. Like, but I found her to be like the most core version of me. Just innocent, pure, playful, artsy, loved, the reading and all that stuff, like puzzles, all things like games, and just that playful, innocent child. Wise as hell, like wise out of this world. But just having those times and to sit with myself and be with the little version of me that was neglected and abused by people who were supposed to protect her and love her. It was very therapeutic for me, and it still is. It's still moments where she can show up and she can reveal a wounded part, and we can work on that. And so instead of pushing her away and act like she shouldn't exist and what happened ain't happen, like, we work on things. And so then there is the second core part of me, which is my teenage years, and that's from preteen to late teens. And so I'll say about probably like to like 18, kind of like the cusp of 19. That version of me had built up a defense of, I'm just not gonna take this shit no more. And she operated out of what worked best for her. She built community for herself outside of the family she knew. And she worked her ass off. She, very wise. She saw bullshit. She called bullshit. Like, she defended herself. She didn't allow shit to stop her. Like, if she wanted to do something, she kept doing it. And it was just so many beautiful aspects of her. She's kind of crazy. And she knows that. And I think all parts of me. When I say kind of crazy, I definitely mean like this streak of what people would say, like, she could take it too far. And it's like, but I honor her in that situation too, because like a lot of times if she's had to take it too far, that means you've already taken it too far. So still saying that, one of the things I've learned for her is protecting the peace and being careful who I associate myself with. Like, why even put myself in certain situations with certain people that don't mesh well with me, that aren't aligned with my morals and values and stuff in life. So literally allowing my teenage self to know that her anger was valid. However, we're going to have lots more self-control. We'll have a lot more self-control. We don't have to talk with our hands. We don't have to talk with our hands unless somebody is physically a threat. But we don't have to talk with our hands because we're upset, or we don't have to lash out because we feel misunderstood, or we feel a past trauma resurfacing through a new situation. Like, we can literally slow down. Those people aren't, always the same as our abusers. Sometimes we might face someone who is similar to our abusers, and we have a new set of tools to work through those situations. So sitting with that part of myself and honoring how she showed up for me, what needs to be healed and what stays. Because contrary to what we believe, like, these parts of us helped us to get to this point. Like, they helped us survive to this far. So honoring them, for me, honoring my past selves has been so liberating to me. At first, I was coming at them with the situation of like they were bad. They caused harm. They caused damage. The little girl in me, she was a child, so I really couldn't fault her, but I felt like she was tainted. She was not worthy. She was touched. She was, abused. She wasn't worth much because of those things. And so I had a lot of negative self talk and thought around those parts of me. And it's just like, you don't need that. You don't need that anymore. You can come at yourself with the love and nurturing that you should have always had. I should have always had that. And I might not would have turned into the angry teenager, even though I needed her. I needed all these parts of me to come out the way they came out. That's another thing. Like one of my old therapists, like I had her for a short period of time. She used to be like, don't should all over yourself. Like, don't should all over yourself. Like, don't should all over yourself. Like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. But it didn't. Like, acceptance is basically like accepting things as they are and honoring them. And then last but not least was my young adult self, baby. She could conquer the world. She could conquer the world if she wanted to. And maybe she did. And maybe she did. And maybe she did. But she did lose herself in return. And so honoring her, though, she was so selfless. She was so loving. She was so kind. She was so kind to people. And I can't fault her for that. I know why I was so hard on my young adult self. I was mothering her from the point of view of my own mother. I talked cold cash shit to her. I felt like she was weak because she loved a man and she put him before herself. I felt like, she was weak. Maybe it was a weakness, but that doesn't define her. Look at all the shit she did do in between that. And so I be having to like talk to myself like, baby, you got 3 degrees by the age of 24 or 25 with a child. And while you were also carrying the weight of a person who was struggling with a heroin addiction and sometimes a heroin and a coke addiction, like literally, like, girl, you are fierce. You are fierce. That would have brought down so many fucking people. That a lot of people couldn't have done what you done. You worked while you did this. You worked jobs while you did this. You came home after being at work and school all day and you sat down, you cooked for your family. You did homework with your kid. You sat there and on your free time, you went and did family shit. You never took time for you. Never took time for you. You was not only there for that part of your family, you had other aspects of family that was tugging and pulling on you and treated you like shit. And so-called knew that you were in an abusive relationship and still tried to fucking abuse you. Like, baby, don't ever let nobody tell you you're weak or like you're less than. And you have to talk to yourself. You have to view yourself that way. Like, you don't have to do it exactly like me. I'm just giving an example. But and it was a raw, passionate example because that's literally what I have been doing with myself lately. Like, just letting the past parts of me know how fucking awesome and great they were. My teenage self studied nothing. She studied nothing. Literally would do her homework on the bus, would do her homework at breakfast. Like, she studied nothing. She was getting into fights. She had a crazy ass attitude. She literally got kicked out of public schools and had to go to like the adult thing until she could get put back into school. And she still fucking graduated with a 3.7. Like, studied nothing. Graduated with a 3.7 GPA. Studied nothing. You graduated with an advanced diploma. Studied nothing. I already had the skills. She was in a situation where, like, she wasn't being challenged. She already knew what the fuck they was trying to teach her, just about, not all of it, but just about, like, she knew what she needed to know. She learned from home. She was bored at home at sometimes and would get on the computer and learn fucking teach herself trigonometry. Like, and I don't even have them skills no more. Like, I don't know who took them or where they went. Like, I'm still trying to relearn basic math. But she literally would be on a computer learning calculus and shit. Like, she would be on the computer studying biology. Like, she was self-taught. She did not always have the right teachers. She did look up and have some beautiful, wonderful teachers that she loved and appreciates to this day. But she didn't always have the right things. And I'm having a moment with myself right now, having this video about self. And so, and I'm happy I can do this and be very vulnerable and public about it. But she literally was going through the darkest fucking times of her life, but she was still teaching herself. She was learning streets. She learned the streets. She taught herself the streets by just being in them, like being a player in the streets. Like, she never really had to do. She would look and observe and watch everybody else and see what the fuck. If she wanted to, she could have been a queen pin. Like, she literally, I would see certain mistakes people were making and would take note of that shit. Like, I would literally watch criminal enterprises and take note of that shit. Like, you could do this better. Like, she was a mastermind. And because she wasn't being challenged, a lot of energy went to negative things. But some of the energy went to appropriate things. She worked 2 jobs sometimes. Like, she worked her ass off. She lost value for education, which was once a passion of hers, but she just saw that school wasn't shit. And it wasn't always just the educators in the system, it was the system itself. So she realized that, like, very early on. She literally almost didn't even graduate high school. She literally almost didn't graduate high school as many times she wanted to drop out, but, you know, her mother didn't play that shit, so she literally had to figure it out. And to just go from almost being wasted potential to graduating college with 3 degrees, like, I have to honor all parts of myself. I have to honor all parts of myself. And like I say in all videos, I don't give 2 fucks about the degrees. It is about what I put into those degrees. There is determination in those degrees. There is fucking sleepless nights in those degrees. There is tears in those degrees. There is sacrifice in those degrees. I sacrificed having a normal life. I did not get to go outside and play with my friends. I did not get to go into the nightclubs every night. I did not get to do those things that I once was doing before I was a mom, that I once was doing before I was in graduate school. Like, I couldn't do it all. Like, I could not. I would have broke the fuck down for real, because it just was like I had to sacrifice. So the sacrifice was me. I sacrificed myself. And I could have sacrificed my kid. I could have sacrificed, you know, my partnership. I could have sacrificed telling family, and, you know, I did sacrifice my friends too. I didn't get to have my friendships that I was used to having. Like, even though, like, okay, our bonds is our bonds and we gonna be, you know, good regardless. Like, we were used to hanging out with each other. Like, and I ain't talking about no everyday shit, because everybody had a life. But I'm just saying, like, we were used to being more connected, and it was just like I had to sacrifice that. I miss birthday parties of kids that, you know, like, from my friends, and, you know, certain events. I miss all that stuff. I miss it. It's just not even the club aspect. It's the relationships. I missed out on those because I had school, and I had work, and I had the kid, and I had the partner. And so I sacrificed the parts and things connected to me so that I could maintain those things. When I could have just cut off the other shit. But, you know, hindsight. We're here now. We know more. We've learned, you know. And I think that's the beauty of life, is learning. And just having compassion with yourself. Not being afraid to face yourself. I think that's our greatest fear in, like, Healing is not being able to face yourself. When you can't face what you've done in life, that holds up your healing. You gotta accept what you have done in life, and who you may have hurt in life, how you might have hurt yourself. A lot of times it's how we've hurt ourselves. But there are certain situations where you've hurt other people, and you gotta face that. You gotta make amends with that. And it is not always, making amends outrightly. Sometimes the amends is within. And so, I don't know, just finding self and finding the power in self. Power is within you. The power is within you. And they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to tap in to you. They don't want you to tap into nature and the world around you. That's where the power is. Like, you cannot pretend like magic don't exist when we're on a motherfucking floating rock in space. We're in a floating rock in space. Listen, we're in a floating rock in space. We're literally rotating. We're literally revolving. We're literally tilted. There's someone on the other side of Earth right now that is experiencing darkness while I'm experiencing light. There's so many different perspectives in this world. There's so much power in this world. You literally have ecosystems designed so we can live. You have trees that produce air, and you produce CO2 so that the trees can have photosynthesis, and then they produce oxygen so that we can live. That's beautiful. That's magical. You literally have babies. That is miraculous in itself. We are magic. We are magic, and we've been taught to be afraid of our magic. We have been taught that our magic is a sin. We have been taught that magic is evil. Magic can be evil. It's just like you can do good with some shit and you can do bad with some shit. It really can. But it seems like the evil people are telling you that magic don't exist so that they can harvest all the energy and use it for themselves. So, like, just know that the magic is within you. The magic is beauty to me. It's the beauty that how all of this is interconnected and works together. This whole world, this whole ecosystem, and you can either be symbiotic with the ecosystem, you can either be parasitic, and you can have this environment within you. You can have a parasitic environment within you where you're parasitic to others, or others are parasitic hosts to you, and you're constantly getting drained, or you're constantly draining others. Or you can have a symbiotic relationship within you where everything is working together and flowing naturally. And the natural order of things is happening. There's life, there's death, there's rebirth. There's constant rebirth and beauty within and without. So, saying all of that, I think that rediscovering yourself is to rediscover that you are, there's parts of you that make you you, and then there's a whole you. There's even on a level of you're a part to a whole. Like, we're all pieces to a whole. And I even think of it like this floating rock that's in space is like a cellular body in something greater and bigger. It's like bigger than us. It's bigger than this. It's bigger. It always can be bigger. And but you can also look at it at the level that you need to look at it on. You don't have to always go far out. I'm just a far out person. I'm far out and I'm also deep. So I can go far out and I also can go very deep within. So and I love that about me. That is a beautiful quality. I used to hate when people say, that's like a trigger. It was a trigger for me. Like when someone would say, oh, that's deep. I used to hate that because like it used to mean that like they didn't want to process what the fuck I was saying. So that's what I typically got, because for my age group, most of the people was not able to process what the fuck I was saying. So they'd be like, oh, that's deep. But they would never like have a conversation about the deepness. Like they would never like have any rebuttal. It's just like, oh, that's deep. It was like, we're gonna carry on about that day. But what the fuck? Like, can you rebuttal to this? Like, can you have a conversation about this. Like, so I just always felt empty, like, to be able to talk to people really how I wanted to and what I wanted to. And that has been coming to self, is that, like, I'm not on the same level as a lot of people, and that's okay. I can be on a level, and it's not even like on a dumb myself down, but it's just like on some, I can be on anyone's level. However, it is hard for me to find people on the level that I am on, and I usually give up and get tired because I can't find those fulfilling relationships, and I just end up dumbing myself down for the other people. But I'm learning I'm not doing that. Like, I am learning that if you stay true to yourself, you're going to find the community that is meant for you. You're going to find the people that talk that weird shit you talk. You're going to find the people who believe that weird shit you believe. You have to show it, though. If you don't show it, then they don't know who you are. So you have to, like, literally be that confident and be that self-secure that you just be you. And I have so many pieces and parts to me and levels and depths to me that I literally can show up in many different ways. And I think that's beautiful as well. Like, I don't have to just be one thing all the time. I can be many things. And I'm embracing that. And I am finding community in that. And that's been dope. So when I think about self, that's what I think about. Self is deep. Self is you. It's you. Only you can tell you who self is. Only you can find your power, your magic within. So if you don't like the word magic, because I do know, like, there's trauma around words. So if you don't really like the word magic, you can use power. Find what words work well for you. What I'm learning, if I have trauma around words, I try to think about why I have trauma around the words. Because I do. I get triggered by words. Like, and it's crazy because I play on words. Like, I will play on words and I can get manipulative with words. Like, if you say something, like, I need you to mean what you say, because words mean, like, sometimes you got some loosey goosey words, so, like, I need you to really know what you're telling me. So, and it's weird because I think the reason I have trauma around words is exactly that. The people I grew up in, the household that I grew up in, there was a lot of play on words and a lot of manipulation with words. So they would try to always tell me what I was saying or what I had said or what I meant when I said what I said. So I'm even learning the trauma in my relationship with words. And I tell y'all all the time, like, look, my parents, they gave me a dictionary when it came to, like, looking words up. Like, I was the girl who literally was reading the dictionary and learning words. So it was a disservice to them because I outgrew them. Like, they weren't doing what I was doing. So I literally outgrew them. But however, because they were adults, one of the things they used to do to me was play mind games with words. So it would either be like, what I said wasn't correct, or like trying to change what I actually meant. And it became something we did to each other. So, like, I learned this behavior from them, and I'm trying to unlearn it and actually hear people when they say things, like, literally listen to hear what they mean and not just get caught up on words, because I do understand people do not understand words the same way that I do. Like, I have a different relationship with words. Like, there's a lot of play in words. These people made these words for those reasons. Like, it's a lot of play in them. So saying that, I'm learning my relationship around words and learning that, like, some words are triggering. I just told you, deep was one. I felt like deep was a way for someone to, like, push me off and be like, yeah, that's real deep, but they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, so they just say, yeah, that's real deep, and they didn't even try to process it. Like, they didn't even ask me to elaborate. Like, they didn't care. Like, it's just like, it's too much for me, bitch. Like, let's move on. So, but not everybody who's gonna tell me that's deep mean that. now I'm starting to find people who tell me that's deep and it's actually a compliment. Or they might be telling me that I am overloading them right now. No, it's a lot to unpack, but they actually care to unpack it. So, saying all of that, finding self, rediscovering self, because once you're here, you're not lost anymore. You're back. You're lost when you're lost. But you're back now. So you're not necessarily finding yourself. You're processing yourself. You're rediscovering yourself. You're literally accepting who you are and being so okay with that. So I'm gonna leave self here. I feel like if you do want a more scientific version, do some research. I talk from experience and putting it in hoodman's term, layman's term, hoodman's term. I put it in those terms so that average everyday people who are really going through these things can really resonate with it. But if you always find something in my video, I always encourage you to do research. I always encourage you not to take messengers as face value. You literally could find a video of mine where you resonate with some of the material, but you just I don't agree with that part. That's okay, sweetheart. That's okay. You don't have to agree with everything that I'm saying, because I'm not always just sending messages to you. Sometimes I'm sending messages to myself to look back on. Sometimes, I'm sending messages to someone else that need that information that relates to them. So always chew the meat, spit out the bones, and literally do your own research. I don't care who the vessel is. No one is always going to be 100% aligned with you, and that's okay. Do your research. Don't ever take anyone always as face value, okay? All right? Do your research. So always research these things, these concepts, and it doesn't have to be Google searches. You can literally pick up a book. It's so many avenues to receive and get information. I get information and downloads going out into nature. Literally just going out into nature literally helps me so much. Coming outside, sitting in the grass. I have been putting blankets down because I literally and the bugs still come join me when I put the blankets down. I guess they were like, bitch, you ain't gonna suffocate me. But they do come join me. But I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point where I just want to sit on the bare grass. And definitely my dog be peeing and stuff out here. So I just I ain't there yet. But I would love to start just sitting in the grass and, just doing and being. I do hug my trees when I get the thoughts to do so. I do barefoot. So I do grounding barefoot. But get out in nature. I know it's so hard. Definitely if you are currently facing, depression or darkness right now, to just peel yourself out of the bed. It's hard to peel yourself out of bed. It's hard to brush your teeth, wash your face. It's hard to eat sometimes. People don't understand. Sometimes it's just hard to face the day, but what a difference it makes to just get outside and you don't even have to deal with people. Just find you a secluded spot in nature and just be there with nature. Fuck the people sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta say fuck the people and just be in nature. For me though, I've been having some beautiful vessels in my life, whether it's for a second and they give me a quick message or a quick glimmer of hope, and just life has been beautiful for me. Even when it was grueling last year, life was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I'm just excited about where my life is going to go, where life is taking me. Even my daughter in my birthday card, she didn't want me to show y'all, but she literally said, she can't wait to see where life takes me next. And I thought that was so beautiful. It was so much more in there, but I just thought, I was damn, that's deep. that's deep. Like, where did this come from? And it's like, I had reflected the other day, I had bought myself the birthday card promise. Like, I had made a birthday promise to myself. And I had bought this card. Like, I don't know what it is about cards. Like, the card fairies be with me, baby. Like, if I'm looking for a card, I will find one specialized to a person. But this is the first time buying myself a card, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And one of the things I wrote in the card was to always like check back with this, but I said check back, make sure I check back next year. But like something called to me to like just check back with the card and see what I have wrote to myself, and I did, and it was like, it was beautiful. And so when I was reading that card, I was like, oh, this is deep. This is dope. And I've been doing that with my Instagram page. I really got to reflect, like last year, like Instagram wise, like I got to see a lot of like stuff that I was doing, and I'm always reflecting on last year, because last year, like, baby, I showed up not to everybody though. Like, that's the funny part. Like, it wasn't to everybody. It was to like a select few. I felt safe. And I think I've done a video on this. Like, it was one particular person. It was a person in particular, like, and God bless that person, because like they ain't know me from a can of paint. And boy, did they get to see all parts of me. The flawed parts, the loving, I don't know if you can say it was love, but they got to see all parts of me. And I think it was meant and designed to be that way. It was the triggering that I needed. It was the triggering I needed. And I got to like stop hiding the parts of me that were flawed and actually fucking work on them, and stop suppressing them as if like they were ick. And it was like, yeah, they're not so great behaviors to have, but like I understand why I have them, and parting ways with them. Everything didn't make it. Everything did not make it to come on to this evolved self. Everything didn't make it, and every day is a constant show up to work day on what ain't gonna make it, what ain't gonna even be here. And I think every day we go out, into this world, or even if you're just scrolling on your phone, you're receiving information, you're processing information, you're processing energies, and just knowing what's gonna be fuel for you and what's gonna be in exchange for you. And it's a constant battle, but I'm really blessed, and I'm really appreciative of my life now. Like, even with the abusive shit, like it is fucked up, and I can honor that it's really fucked up, but I made it out alive. I didn't make it out unscathed, but I made it out alive, and now I'm unscathed. But it's a part of my journey. It's a part of my journey, and accepting it for what it is, and that it happened. Like, it was only 2 years ago that I wouldn't even accept that was happening. Like, that had happened. That it was continuing to show up. It was continuing to show up. One of the things that happened in my young adult self, even trying to transition and transform into this part of myself, was I had a childhood friend who literally took advantage of me, and I was even willing to forgive that by having a conversation about it. And I always looked at this person and put this person on a pedestal. I thought he was such like a great person. There was a part of me, I feel like my child self, like that little girl self, that had a crush on him. And, it got brought up, and like he literally, was saying like, I just never saw you that way. But then in the second breath, it was like, you want to fuck. Like, and it was just like, it was like I was already in this state of like, I was trying to figure me out. I had just left this abusive relationship. I didn't know, up from down, and I still hadn't even figured out how to say no to people. Like, I was like really like beaten, battered, and bruised, like mentally, emotionally, all that shit. Like, I was going through so many things, and he knew this. He was aware of this. Like, it was no secret. he literally knew, even down to like him, like, you know, threatening my life and him stalking me and all that stuff. Like, he knew all these things. And so um it literally broke my heart when I woke up to, like, you know, shit had transpired that, like, to me, if it was me on the other hand and he was my friend, I would have protected him. I would have, you know, curved that situation. Definitely if I know I didn't have feelings for you. Like, if I ain't have feelings for you, why would I be trying to fuck you while you just told me you'd been through all this shit? And no, I didn't go into all the details, but he just still knew. And so and it was like one of the things, like, I remember, like, my birthday was coming up that year. Like, he said some fucked up shit, like, what you want for your birthday? And I actually told him, like, I'm stupid. Like, I gotta stop saying that. I was being naive. I was sitting up there thinking, like, genuinely, like, this is literally a friend from kindergarten. And I'm like, I'm thinking that, you know, he wanted to actually give me a gift for my birthday. So I'm sorry, trauma came up. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one out, and I'm gonna stop this video because this was supposed to be, but this is about self too, reflecting on those hard things and learning from them. So I actually told him a gift I wanted, and I think the gift was like maybe less than $20. And so he was like, oh, well, I thought you wanted some, you know what. And I was like, what the fuck? So this all, like, started to transpire out of me saying that, like, I think I had, you know, like, feelings for him. Like, you know, like, I didn't even say it like that. I kind of, like, said it on some shit, like, you know, it was something in that area. And he definitely, like, let me know clear as day, like, you know, he thought I was beautiful, but, like, he just don't see me that way. Like, he see me more as a friend. And instead of leaving it like that, it went from, you know, you need help with your groceries, you want some dick. And it just kept becoming this, like, it started to be like, you know, he was sending pictures. Like, it just got really spicy. And it was like, I didn't have the strength and the power. Like, my power was stripped. Like, I didn't have that to say, well, if you don't like me like that, like, why are you trying to, you know, have sex? And I even remember him mentioning, like, well, will you be able to have sex and not catch feelings? Bitch, I ain't had no feelings. Like, the feelings was turned off. Like, I didn't even have feelings enough to say, you know, no, I don't even want to have sex with you. Like, but I just felt like it happened so quickly. Like, I was just in a vulnerable state, period, point blank. Whether who understands my end of it or not, I don't really care. I was in a vulnerable state, and I was in a state where I couldn't show up for me and verbalize for me. I literally was coming out of that. That's why I had to escape the situation I was in. I was coming out of a fucked up and abusive situation. But I don't regret him doing that, because when he did do that, something clicked in me that allowed me to start saying no to men. So everything happens for a reason. But anyway, it just got out of hand really quickly, and before I knew it, you know, we had crossed that line, and it didn't even feel right. Literally, when it was happening, all I could think about was my partner that I had just left, and I felt like I still was, you know, like, disrespecting that, and it just was a weird situation. And it did. It felt like two friends were having sex, which, if you've ever done that, like, it's like this. It's not nothing against him and all that, like, you know, his personal business. Like, it's nothing against him, like, on that level. It just felt like, it felt cringe. It felt like you was having sex with a brother, or, like, you know, like, I don't know if you can relate, whether you man or female, but, like, if you ever had sex with a friend and it was like a no, it just felt like wah, wah. Like, no, we shouldn't be doing this. And so I just remember just laying there dumb, and the only feelings I did have was that, like, I felt like I was disrespecting the relationship I just left. And I'm like, bitch, you ain't even in that relationship no more. So that let me know, like, yeah, you're not even ready for this. And so you haven't even detached mentally. Like, physically you've left, but emotionally and mentally, like, you're still there. And so that happened. We still stayed in communication, because that's just how much of my self-value and self-worth, I didn't even feel comfortable telling him, you know, that my feelings around it. And so we still was talking and all this stuff. And I remember when I woke up and came back to myself fully, that I mentioned it to him that, you know, like, I didn't like that, you know, he came on that way to me. I felt like he took advantage. And I don't know how I worded it to him. I really don't even care at this point, because if it was me, I would have never did that to a friend. Like, I know myself. If a friend would have told me that they liked me and I know I didn't like them back like that, I wouldn't have took advantage of them. Like, I would have left that shit as in, like, you know, I love you, but I don't see you that way. I've had this happen to me. I love you, but I don't see you that way. Like, no, we can't do this. Like, why would I even blur those lines? Definitely if I have a great ass friendship, and we did literally have a great friendship. But what broke it for me was that he couldn't take accountability. I remember telling him, like, you know, I really felt like you took advantage of me. Like, I didn't, you know, the fact that you didn't have feelings for me, but yet you kept pursuing sex. And the thing he said to me was, well, you should have said something. He got really defensive. I don't know. Like I said, I can't remember my approach of whether his response warranted him to be defensive, but at the same token, his response as a man in our big age, like, literally, if we're friends, I feel like you should have heard me out, and then you could have operated on what the fuck I just told you. He didn't even hear me at all, because if he would have heard me, he would have realized that, like, I just wanted him to know how I felt. He literally wanted to blame me for me telling him I felt taken advantage of. And I'm not blaming you in the sense that you thinking it is. Like, I'm just letting you know, like, that shit hurt me. That shit hurt me. I'm not condemning you. I'm just letting you know your actions hurt me. But he flipped that shit and reversed it. He didn't start this conversation, so I ain't even know why he led with that response. But I'm learning that, you know, people don't like taking accountability for the parts they play. I know I played the part and I didn't take up for myself. I already know that. I'm telling you, the way you went about shit hurt me. Like, and literally for his birthday, I didn't tell him what you want for your birthday and offer him some pussy. I literally bought him a gift card for his birthday. I treated him decent, and he did not treat me with the same decency. And this is literally a friend that I literally looked at as, like, a good male friend. Like, he was respectful in most cases. So I wasn't going to condemn him on that one situation. I wanted to have a clear and concise conversation with him about what had transpired now that I'm awake and I had my fucking full faculties. Like, that situation hurt me. You made me feel less than. Like, you made me feel like a piece of ass. Like, and we've never had to treat each other that way. Like, never had to treat each other that way. So I'm happy it happened. It was a good release of knowing what real friendship looks like, and moving past people in situations. Like I said, I can't condemn him just for that situation, but his response definitely let me know, like, nah, I'm good. And I had to think about it too, and we did get into like a I guess, like, it for me, I didn't want the friendship to end, period. I wanted to be a conversation, but once he did that whole try to, like, blame me for some shit I'm telling you you hurt my feelings about, I was just like, you know what, I'm good. My only action that led me there, it was two: that I brought up I had feelings for you, and that I did not tell you no. However, I look back at me and I know why I couldn't. It just wasn't in me at the time. Like, I was not in a space where I could. And I have the utmost respect for people who respect people in vulnerable states. Last year, I was in a vulnerable state. The year before that, I was in a vulnerable state. And yet, every day I was getting up, showing up for myself. I have the utmost respect for people who don't take advantage of people in vulnerable states. And I have compassion and empathy for people who sometimes do. It was the response that killed it for me. I was just like, the response alone is just like, nah, you remind me of the person I just left. Like, it's my fault. I understand. It is. It's my fault. I've already taken accountability. You know, I should have said, nah, I don't need you to rebuttal that way. I need to hear that, you know, you apologize for your part in it. Like, I already know the part I played in it. Like, I'm telling you, I played a part, but I'm hurt by your actions. You didn't bring this conversation up and tell me you was hurt by my actions. I brought this up to you to tell you I was hurt by your actions. And that's kind of like what I've been used to in my whole entire life, is that when I get hurt and I bring up that my feelings are hurt, like, they get dismissed, they get ignored, they get no response, they get it reflected back onto me being, you know, the problem. And I'm not saying every time I'm not the problem. I'm just saying that, like, I feel like if I'm bringing up a situation, we shouldn't be playing tit for tat game there. Like, we should literally be sitting with my feelings. And then if you got some concerns, yes, we can address your concerns too. But I just didn't. I was just like, oh no, like, nah, that's not a meant to be friendship. And I did, like, I think I told him like something about like he needed to focus on healing himself and his family issues and all that shit. And then he took that, he got upset about that and was like, I don't care about what you going through right now, but what you ain't gonna do is talk about my family. And I literally said it just like that. Is that talking about somebody's family to say you need to work on yourself? What you need to do is focus on, instead of you trying to tell me the fuck is my fault. Like, you need to focus on working on yourself, because you're showing up real ugly right now, and your family issues. And I wasn't even telling him far as like he can fix the people in his family. Well, he need to fix the people in his family. What you need to do is focus on you and your fucking family lineage and your problems, because obviously it's getting the best of you, because that was ugly. And so he was like, I don't care what you going through, like, you know, like, I don't care what you got going on, but what you you can say anything else, but don't bring my family, don't talk about my family. That's what he said. And I'm like, bitch, I didn't even call out a single family member. What I told you was to work on your own shit. And I was like, I can't fucking judge you. Like, my fucking own daddy was fucking me. Like, what the fuck I look like judging you and your family? And that's how our conversation ended. And I don't know, that shit just came up for me just now. And maybe I just needed to get that shit out, release it. Thank God that it was revealed to me, because that's what I'm learning a lot. Like, you're not losing connections with people that is putting you in a hole or a negative. You literally be losing to make your life better. Like, you be clearing up space for better situations and better people in your life. Like, imagine me being in another vulnerable state. I can't trust him. I can't trust that he will know I'm in a vulnerable state and he won't take advantage of me. I can't trust him. So I literally had to realize, like, because I had to grieve that. Like, I had to grieve a lot of lost connections in my life. And but it's out of protection for self, and it's out of what's best for self. And like I said, I'm not condemning him. We all make mistakes. I was even willing to forgive him, but and when I say forgive him, like, I mean, like, still have a relationship with him. Like, I still forgive him now. I think it's just like I hurt that, you know, he ain't had the strength enough to just, you know, fall back from that. Like, just that energy. Like, just not do that energy. And so, yeah, I was in such a, like, sunken place. Like, I don't send nudes. Like, that man was asking for nudes. And, like, I just felt taken advantage of. Like, don't nobody got no nude of me. Like, the person that had a nude of me is dead. And he's the only one. And it was just like, I was in a situation where, like, I couldn't say no to shit. And that was the part that was like, it was just hurtful that, like, yes, I did owe it to myself to say no. I know that, nigga. But I feel like for you to be someone I trust, I should have been able to trust that you wouldn't have tried to take my drawers when I ain't looking. Like, that's what I should have been able to trust. So, definitely thanking God for, I have to laugh at shit now because, like, I told y'all, like, I laugh to cope, and I will process even further because I do think it's still hurt feelings in that. Like, you have these friendships since childhood, and like, you have this view of people, and you don't view them in a lens of always that they are imperfect. You don't always view them in a lens that, you know, they'll make mistakes just like you make mistakes sometimes. And I was starting to view him as that. Like, he made mistakes and he wasn't perfect. I always looked at him like, oh my gosh, this nigga is like great. And like I said, the little girl part of me did like him. Like, I think it was like a little innocent little girl crush. And he took advantage of that. Like, that was literally like him probably, like, you know, messing with that damaged, hurt little girl. Because mentally, like, I wasn't there. I wasn't able to show up for myself. So, like, he literally probably was mentally messing with that little hurt little girl. And so, because me, I don't even like hold the memories. All I remember was just like, I do remember like not being fully there. Like, I just remember not being fully there in my body, and the part of me that was able to like be there was thinking about the betrayal I'm committing against my partner. And so, yeah, it's weird. This part of the video cut came out. I might dissect this and make it its own video about being vulnerable, being in a vulnerable state around people that you can't trust. But yeah, I'm gonna end it there.